Every car tells a story, but not every story has a happy ending. Since cars were first invented, companies have risen and fallen, each with its own dream of changing the industry. Some made huge strides and became legends. Others had bold ideas but failed to overcome the challenge of a tough and competitive market. Their stories, however, live on, not just as lessons in what went wrong, but as tributes to creativity, ambition, and the risks that shaped the automotive world. Take Duesenberg, for example. In the early 1900s, this brand represented the very best in luxury cars. Owning a Duesenberg wasn't just about having a car, it was about making a statement. These cars were built with incredible attention to detail, blending unmatched luxury with powerful performance. Celebrities, industrialists, and even royalty owned them. At the height of their success, Duesenberg cars were the best that American engineering had to offer. But the Great Depression changed everything. Suddenly, people couldn't afford cars that cost more than most houses. By the 1937, the company shut down. Today, the few surviving Duesenbergs are worth millions, reminding us of what luxury can achieve when money is no object. On the opposite end of the spectrum was Crossley Motors. While Duesenberg catered to the wealthy, Crossley aimed at regular people. The cars were small, affordable, and fuel efficient, perfect for the post-war economy. They even introduced innovative features like the first mass-produced disc brakes. But timing is everything. After World War II, Americans wanted big, flashy cars to show off their newfound prosperity. Crossley's compact cars with their modest engines and simple design just didn't appeal to buyers. By 1952, Crossley was out of business. It's interesting to think about what could have been. If Crossley had survived a little longer, they might have led the small car movement of the 1970s. They may have even influenced the fuel-efficient designs we see today. Some failures are more famous than others. Take DeLorean Motor Company, for instance. Even if you've never heard the company, you've probably seen its car in the Back to the Future movies. The DeLorean, with its stainless steel body and gull-wing doors, looked like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. John DeLorean, the founder, dreamed of building a futuristic sports car that would stand out of everything else on the road. But the company faced issues right from the start. Production delays, quality problems, and high price tag hurt sales. Then came the scandal. John DeLorean got involved in an illegal drug deal to try and save his company. It didn't work. By 1982, DeLorean Motor Company went bankrupt, despite its short-lived production. The DeLorean remains as a cult classic today, thanks to its unique design and role in pop culture. Sometimes, a company fails not because the product was bad, but because they were too far ahead of their time. Fisker Automotive is a perfect example of this. Before Tesla became a household name, Fisker was making waves with the Karma, an electric luxury sedan. This car was beautiful, with sleek lines and eco-friendly materials, but it wasn't ready for the market. Production delays, battery problems, and high costs made it hard for Fisker to succeed. By 2013, the company declared bankruptcy. Today, the Fisker name has been revived, but the original failure reminds us how hard it is to break into the electric vehicle market when consumers and infrastructure aren't ready. It's a reminder that even the most innovative ideas need the right environment to succeed. Then there's the story of Preston Tucker, one of the most visionary figures in the automotive history. Tucker's dream was a Tucker 48, a car packed with innovative features like shatterproof windshield, a rear-mounted engine, and a third headlight that churned with the wheels. These ideas were ahead of their time and posed a threat to the big automakers in Detroit. Allegations of fraud and illegal campaign against Tucker's company led to its downfall before it even got off the ground. Only a few Tucker 48 cars were ever produced, but they're now some of the most valuable collector's items in the world. Tucker's story is a bittersweet reminder of how competition and fear can stop innovation. His vision shows us what the automotive world could look like if bold ideas were given more support. Not every failure came from bold ambition. Some were just plain odd. Take Reliant, a British automaker known for the Robin, a three-wheeled car that promised affordability and efficiency. The problem? Well, physics. The Robin was so unstable that it tipped over easily, making it a punchline of countless jokes and comedy skits. While Reliant survived for a while producing other vehicles, the Robin became its most infamous creation. The company eventually stopped production in early 2000s. Despite its flaws, the Robin is still remembered by some as a symbol of quirky if misguided engineering. It's an example of how even the most unusual cars can carve out a lasting place in history. Another story of endurance followed by heartbreak is that of Studebaker. This company started in the mid-19th century, making wagons before transitioning to cars. Their vehicles were reliable, stylish, and loved by many. But the 1950s and 60s were tough for small automakers. The big three, Eventually, Ford, GM, and Chrysler dominated the market, leaving little room for independent companies like Studebaker. Despite efforts to modernize, Studebaker couldn't keep up. Their last car rolled off the assembly line in 1966, making the end of an era. Studebaker's legacy, however, lives on, showing that even in defeat, a company can leave behind a mark. Saab's story is another example of a beloved brand that couldn't survive. The Swedish automaker was known for its turbocharged engines and unique designs. Saab wasn't just a car company, it was a lifestyle choice for people who wanted something different. But poor management and declining sales led to its downfall. By 2011, Saab stopped making cars, leaving a void that no brand has quite filled. Saab enthusiasts still gather to celebrate the brand, showcasing how even a closed chapter can keep its loyal fan base. Some companies are remembered more for their audacity than their success. Brooklyn, a Canadian automaker, introduced the SV1, a sports car designed with safety in mind. It featured gull-wing doors and a bold design, but the execution was poor. The cars had issues like leaky doors and underpowered engine. Production costs skyrocketed, and the company went under in just a few years. Today, the Brooklyn is a fascinating piece of automotive history, a reminder of what happens when ambition outpaces execution. It's proof that taking risks can sometimes lead to failure, but it also leaves behind stories worth telling. And then there's Saturn, a brand launched by General Motors in the 1980s. Saturn was supposed to be a different kind of car company, with no haggle pricing and a focus on customer satisfaction. For a while it worked. Saturn developed a loyal following, but GM never fully committed to the brand. As the market changed, Saturn couldn't keep up. By 2010, the brand was discontinued. Taking with its unique approach to car buying, Saturn's story shows that even the most well-intentioned innovations need long-term support to thrive.